friend whose dad had a wrecker he made out of a Willys Jeep, and it was a manual winch. He would go over there and work the wrecks, and I would go with him, and we used to go to the stock car races in Hialeah. And then when I got old enough to drive, I'd go with my buddies, and we'd go up to the drag strip in Hollywood.
Yeah, those were the days. I think it became a Holiday Inn. The facility out there turned into a Holiday Inn, and that was the end of that. So anyway. Well, Alan, how did you end up over in Fort Myers over? Sorry, Clark, how'd you end up in Fort Myers over?
Yeah, okay. I had been, as I was working in radio, learning about things, I found out FPL had a really good radio job, so I had tried to get hired on with them. But it was always hard because they would always take people from the union first. And Fort Myers had a radio shop opening. It was fairly open for a little while because nobody wanted to move over here. And I said, well, you know, if I can double my salary and get a vehicle, I'll move to Fort Myers. So that's how I got over here. I took the job with FPNL in their radio shop, and I was there about 7 years, but I was the low man on the pole. And it was actually just about 2 years after I started, they started making a lot of cuts. And I made it through 7 years, but finally there was enough cuts, and I had some other people that said, you know, hey, we know you might get cut, you know, we have some work for you, so it was a tough thing to do, but I went ahead and left, but I spent probably close to 20 years in the two-way radio business, and I had a lot of connections with phone people. You know, when you're working radio, you deal with circuits and stuff. So even though I never worked for a phone company, I've had a lot of phone connections. Probably don't know all the ins and outs of the phone business, but I know enough of it to, I guess, relate. And I think I forgot, one of my radio jobs gave me a connection here with somebody in the county. They were looking for a guy with my abilities, and that's how I started taking care of the recording equipment they have for the county. It records all the 911 calls and the radio traffic, so that's my main job now, but it's, you know, all computer type stuff. No radio work over.
Well, that's pretty slick. Well, that's an interesting career. Yeah, I started with AT&T in 1959 in Washington, D.C., worked in Washington, Virginia, Maryland, twice in Atlanta, Jacksonville, Orlando, Homestead, or Florida City, Dade County down there, and also in Fort Lauderdale. I was one of the first employees with Belfast Mobility, which at that time was AMPS, but ended up working there at in the Miami cellular system, was a plank owner in the cellular business, and we started in 1983, and we turned up the Miami system there in 1984, and so familiar with all that stuff down there too. Very good. KF4 UDX W4KDN. Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, I've been listening to the whole thing. Is very interesting, and reasons why you ended up in these necks of the wood over here in South Florida, Southeast Florida, Southwest Florida. Anyway, I didn't have much of a choice. The family, actually, we bounced around Fort Myers. I don't know if we Tampa or whatever, but when I was a baby. But I was born in Boynton Beach, Florida, and then I guess I kind of moved on down to Pompano and then Fort Lauderdale, and we were off of just south of Commercial Boulevard, 48th Street for a while, off of Andrews Avenue. I guess we stayed along this Andrews Avenue corridor pretty much exclusively in this part of town, but by the way, I did the U.S. Navy from 1977 to 1981 before I start talking about what technology things I've been involved in. So 1977 to 1981, I was rated as a signalman, and I ended up qualifying as radioman too, because that's what I really wanted to be, but they wouldn't cross me over to being a radioman because they said they didn't need any more. The Bupers or whatever they were. So anyway, when I got out in '81, back to the family house here off of Cypress Creek Road and I-95. We're right at 95, and 95 wasn't up to here, by the way. In 1970, it stopped down at Oakland Park Boulevard, I think, or something like that. And so anyway, after the Navy, I got my ham license pretty much right after that. I did Navy Mars ship side, by the way, and ran phone pass traffic for the 214-foot long ship that I was on, ocean going salvage Navy. Got out and worked in two-way radio a little bit. What else? Worked for Motorola for about a year in the factory, the plant over there in Plantation on West Sunrise Boulevard at University. And vehicle tracking by 900 megahertz radio paging towers. Teletrack, that was an interesting one. A bunch of things that kind of led me right back to Marine, which actually I found out about the marine industry. I should have done it on my own, having been a Navy guy, but I didn't figure it out on my own. With all these white yachts here in Fort Lauderdale, I didn't figure out I should have done something electronics. But I bumped into a guy in a bar having a drink with my brother out, wearing a Cisco t-shirt, and ended up working on yachts doing IT kind of stuff, internet, satellite, cellular, Wi-Fi, and that's what I'm a small business doing right now. And I don't know where we're at. I think I'm back to Pete from KA4UDX in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, Alan, W4QDN. Well, that's an interesting career. Yeah, I was a Navy guy. I was 55 to 59. I was an aviation electrician. And I heard, I think Dave mentioned one of you guys has been to the Cecil complex. I got out of the Navy at Cecil Field. I was in VF-14 there back when it was operating Naval Air Station. And that was my last place. So there's a darn phone. Let me get that, and over to you, Clark, W4QDN.
Okay, Pete's going to get the phone. I thought I heard somebody else. Was there somebody else say something in there? W4YCN. Okay, I thought I heard somebody say, hey, Pete, W4YCN, is that correct?
Yeah, USL, name's Ed. I'm over in Tampa, Florida. I just heard you guys in here, mostly from here in Florida, and said wanted to say hello.
Okay, Ed, my name's Clark, Whiskey Bravo 4, Fox Ocean Whiskey, or I like to say walking beside 4 far-out women. That works for some people. I'm in Fort Myers, and Alan's in here over in Fort Lauderdale, and he was in the Navy. I was never in the military. I was going to join, but it was white shirt in the Vietnam era, and my mom said, no, you're not. So there you go. KA4UDX, go ahead, WB4FOW.
I'm back again. I need to go. I have a command from the boss. She gave me an order on the phone there, so I better sign and get talking to you guys. And okay, on the old Navy stuff there, did it too. Meeting many years ago in a place far away. I was on 4 different carriers and did all that stuff. So we'll see you guys later on. Thanks for letting me in the group there earlier this morning. And I didn't catch whoever had just jumped in there while I was on the phone. But anyway, KE4UDX, W4QDN. Alan, pick it up. It's all yours. You're in control.
Roger, Pete. We'll have a good one. Nice to meet you on here. We'll probably catch you again in the morning. One of these days here soon. And good morning to W4YCN, Ed over there in Tampa. And I don't know which way we're going around, but I'll go back to you. W4YCN, KA4UDX in the group. Go.
Oh, okay. Well, I was in the Army. I wasn't in the Navy, but I am now involved with the Victory ship that's over here, which is a museum for the Merchant Marine service. And it had the Armed Guard and Navy personnel aboard it during World War II. And, we're part of the group there as a volunteer. And it's an operating ship, but I just, glad you guys are in there.
Hey, Clark.
Yes, sir.
This is Dave again, KFR. Just ordered my CS-10, so it's on its way.
Okay, so they got one left. I'm thinking about getting one of those as a backup because I'd never be able to replace this gadget. Good job.
All Roger, Roger.
Okay, for you old Navy guys out there, I'm an old Navy guy. 1964 to 1994. 30 years of it, aviation type. Catch you later, KFR will be clear.
Yeah, that's a long time. Hats off to you, WB4FW. Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, it was nice hearing you in there, too. Like I said, I'm new to the group here. I just was kind of cruising through the lower portion here, and glad to hear you guys. I'm currently running... my station is kind of unusual. We're in a deep restricted area, and we're using a Tar Heel antenna for base antenna here. So the screwdriver antenna seems to work pretty good.
I hear people doing that from time to time. They'll stick it on top of if you have like a little aluminum lanai or something like that, people put them on top of that.
Yeah, well, basically what I have like what is called a TED shed. It's aluminum siding and galvanized roof, and I mounted it to the back side of it on a 8-foot pole, and use the roof and shed for a counterpoise. It's almost like putting it on a small moving truck or something.
Yeah, as long as they don't complain, I guess that works good. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we've been getting nice reports of it. A guy from KR5L with Jerry down